From the kitchen of the cabin, it's the 5 Games for Doomsday review.
Brothers. I was watching telly with some friends once. This was a long time ago. I was in my late teens, probably stoned, watching the television. I remember it was a documentary of some kind. Black and white shots of men and women in old-style hats and coats, soppy stern walking through a black and white London. Then the narrator mentioned Leopold Kohr, and the phrase he'd coined, "small is beautiful." We found it hilarious that such a vacuous, meaningless string of words was being treated with such reverence. It reignited our suspicions that academia was just a collection of self-involved charlatans whose main occupation was to lift their own banal pronouncements into the realm of high thought. Small is beautiful. This was hardly God is dead or they fuck you up, your mum and dad. For weeks afterwards we made snide jokes, rolling around in mock awe to revolutionary phrases like turn left at the next set of lights and wow, these oranges are fresh today. My view of academics hasn't shifted hugely in the intervening years, but sometimes things need reappraisal, and small is beautiful might not be as devoid of meaning as it first appears. It could be that small is beautiful is an exhortation, a call to strip away the extraneous to get to the core of the thing, an assertion that frippery and decoration are unimportant. The thing is the thing and not the clothes it's dressed in. This is a request that Brothers from Christoph Bollinger and Ankama Games are trying to fulfill. Brothers is an abstract game boiled down and down until all that remains is what's left when the water's all gone. The players are the eponymous siblings that are trying to populate the available space in their meadow with their respective livestock. The game is played in 2 phases, the meadow phase and the pen phase. In the meadow phase, players take it in turns to place varying shaped tiles to construct the board where the game will take place. This is not just simple setup though. This is the initial part of the game, where players set out their stalls, pun certainly intended. The layout of the meadow is crucial to the fulfillment of your plans. Rather than a static board, the playing surface reiterates every time, and your strategy for setting out the meadow can become as refined as the one you employ to play your pieces on it. You can be, partly, in control of the game board and build it according to your needs. Rather than being a preliminary stage of the game, this is a valid and tricky part of it. The second phase is where the players play their pieces. One player has straight pieces and the other L-shaped, and the second phase is a race to see who can place most of their pieces before the time runs out, with penalty points scored for pieces that aren't placed. The meadow is constructed to ensure that all the pieces can't be placed, and so someone, always me, will find themselves with pieces left over. After the first round is played, pieces are swapped, the meadow is relayed and the game is repeated. After round 2, the player with the most penalty points loses. Brothers is the quintessence of the small is beautiful, as it takes the notion of the abstract game and boils it down to its essence, the playing of pieces. That's not to say that the game is simple, but it certainly isn't profound. This is a game that engages, but I fear it won't have a huge amount of legs. Still, it certainly fills a niche, and with a playing time of no more than 10 minutes can be fitted into any game night, and that's not damning it with faint praise. It's definitely engaging for the 10 minutes that you're playing it. My high watermark for games like this is Patchwork, which is simply exquisite, and Brothers comes nowhere near this. Brothers is slight compared to that, but there is no doubt that the game works. It offers challenge, it offers a broad strategy and specific tactics. It has all of the puzzliness and frustration that a decent abstract game should have, but none of the depth. If it was any longer, it would descend into tedium, but for 10 minutes, it's pleasant enough. That, I suppose, is the rub. It's pleasant enough. This is not a game that screams to be played again and again. A few people will fall in love with this game. They will enjoy it and nothing more. And with so much competing for our attention, that simply isn't enough. Christoph Bollinger has tried to embody the principle of small is beautiful with this game, and has succeeded. I'm just not so sure I agree with the premise. Thank you for listening, and to support this show, you can go to patreon.com/5G4D for a rolling donation, or simply hit the PayPal button at the bottom of the website 5gamesfordoomsday.com to help the show. And thanks again.